I made you tea, I said, placing the chipped mug on the table. Alyssa didn't look up from her phone. Thanks. I waited. Nothing. No smile. No kiss. Just her thumb moving like it was more in love with the screen than anything else. Are we okay? I asked. Her thumb paused. She blinked like I'd interrupted something sacred. What do you mean? You've been distant. I've just been busy. Busy? I raised an eyebrow. You were out until 2 last night. It was Elia's birthday. Right? And you couldn't text. She let out a sigh, tired, annoyed. You always do this. I do what? You act like I'm cheating every time I have a life. I swallowed that bitterness. I never said that. You didn't have to, she muttered. It's always written on your face. I laughed, but it cracked halfway. Well, maybe that's because you've stopped writing anything on mine. She rolled her eyes. What does that even mean? It means you don't look at me anymore, Alyssa. She stood. I have to get ready. For what? Just something. Kai's got a gig. Elia invited me. Kai. I repeated the name slowly, like it tasted off. The guy you once said had no game and smelled like smoke. She didn't respond. Right, I said, voice low. You're going to see Kai. She crossed her arms. He's just a friend. You said that about me once. Silence. I stared at her for a second longer, hoping she'd say something that would make this all feel normal again. She didn't. Have fun, I muttered and turned back to my laptop. Later that night, I lay on the couch, the blue glow from my screen lighting the room like a ghost. My inbox was dry. Studio gigs were slow. Everything felt on hold, except her. I scrolled through Instagram without really seeing anything. Then I landed on a live stream. Kai's page. The crowd was screaming, lights flickering like strobes inside a dream. My thumb hovered, then tapped. The camera panned across the front row. There she was. Alyssa. Her face tilted toward the stage like he was the sun. She was singing along. Smiling. Her eyes? God, her eyes were on him. He stepped forward, gripped the mic, and started one of his newer songs. I knew it. Because he wrote it after that night he came over to jam and Alyssa made popcorn, like it was a date and I wasn't sitting 3 feet away. I turned the volume up. He leaned into the chorus, eyes closed, voice full of smoke and syrup. You were mine until the static. Now you dance like I'm your magic. Alyssa swayed. Then she mouthed the words. Every single word. I love you. Her lips moved. Clear. Soft. To him. My chest clenched. I couldn't look away. I was frozen. Burned into the floor, into the moment. I whispered to myself, that song was about me. But even I didn't believe it anymore. She came home around 2. I was still on the couch, pretending to scroll, pretending I hadn't just watched her give her heart to someone else. She kicked off her boots, careful not to look at me. You're up? I nodded. Couldn't sleep. Her voice was light. Too light. Kai killed it tonight. Crowd was insane. I looked at her. Her eyes sparkled from leftover stage lights and something I no longer recognized. Yeah, I said, flat. I saw. Her smile dropped. What? The live stream. Instagram. Her lips parted, just slightly. You watched it? Front row, I said. I saw you. She shifted. It wasn't like that. It looked like exactly that. I was just singing along. You mouthed, I love you. It was part of the lyrics. I stood up, pulse pounding. Alyssa, you used to sing my songs. You used to hold my hand like it was the only thing keeping you grounded. Now you're dancing in someone else's spotlight, calling me paranoid for noticing. Her shoulders stiffened. I didn't cheat. You didn't have to, I said. You already left. The silence after that sentence was unbearable. She whispered, I'm sorry. Why? Because I saw it, or because you did it? Tears welled, but I couldn't tell if they were real. I didn't want to ask. I didn't want another excuse. She turned away, walked toward the hallway. I didn't follow. Not this time. You good? Jonah asked through the intercom. I didn't answer. You've been in there all day. Still nothing. Bro, at least open the damn door. You haven't eaten. I turned the volume up. My headphones nearly split my skull. Kai's voice rang through, my chords, my mix, my garage. I heard it again. That hook. The one we built together last summer. You good? He'd asked when I showed him the riff. I don't know, I'd said back then. Sounds better with a second guitar. You. Now he was famous. And I was here. Alone. With my laptop and 1,000 files named after the dreams I handed people like candy. The track ended. Silence. Then it started again. I ripped the headphones off and slammed them on the desk. I taught him that, I muttered. That tone. That sound. That layering. My phone buzzed. Nina, call me. Please. It's important. I ignored it. Another message popped up. Nina, I didn't know he'd post that. I swear. My heart beat against my ribs like it wanted out. I called her. She picked up fast. Evan. What the hell is going on, Nina? I didn't think you'd see the clip. You mean the one where your best friend's mouthing "I love you" to the guy who ripped off my EP? I didn't know he used your stuff, she whispered. Don't lie to me. I'm not. I thought he said he got inspired, not inspired? I laughed. He used my vocals. I heard my harmonies behind his chorus. Silence. That file was from my hard drive. He didn't record that. Her voice shook. I'm sorry. Don't be sorry, I snapped. Be honest. She exhaled hard. Alyssa sent him the demo. I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to be in the middle. You were always in the middle. Evan, I hung up. I sat in the dark. My laptop glowed faintly, open to a folder marked ENK Sessions. I double-clicked the first project file. The same song began. But this one? This one was different. Raw. Unpolished. Just my voice. My guitar. The way it was meant to be. I built you, I said aloud, staring at the waveform. I built you, Kai. I dragged the file to the trash bin. Then the next. Then the next. Delete. 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 A part of me cracked with every click. But I kept going. Every shared project. Every memory burned into WAVs and stems. Gone. All but one. Master_origv1.wav. The first take. My take. I dragged it out. Pressed play. It wasn't perfect. But it was mine. I laid back in the chair, staring at the ceiling, headphones barely hanging on. The song ended with my voice trailing off, raw, imperfect, real. My phone buzzed again. Jonah, I'm coming in. I swear to God, Evan, if you haven't eaten, I'll break the door down. Knock. 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 EV. I said nothing. He jiggled the handle. Don't make me call Mom. I rolled my eyes. Doors open, idiot. He pushed in, holding a takeout bag. You look like hell. Thanks. You smell worse. I finally cracked a weak smile. He sat beside me, opened the food. So, wanna talk about the public execution I watched online last night? I looked at him. You saw it? He nodded. Yeah. Alyssa might as well have thrown your name in the credits and spit on it. She gave him my file. I figured. She said I was her home, you know? Jonah unwrapped a burrito. Yeah. And she rented it to someone else. I didn't respond. He looked at the screen. You deleting all this? Most of it. Why save that one? Because it's the only one that sounds like me. He chewed in silence, then swallowed. So what now? I don't know. You gonna call her? No. You gonna fight him? No. You gonna keep being dramatic and starving in your studio like a heartbreak poet? I sighed. Probably. He leaned back. Look. I don't know what hurts more, her using you or him stealing you. I stared at the screen. They both did the same thing. He nodded slowly. Then maybe stop asking why, and start asking what next. I didn't reply. But the words stayed. What next? Wait, I muttered, scrolling through my inbox. No way. Jonah leaned over. What now? Look at this, I pointed at an old contract. He never filed the ownership transfer. You serious? I emailed him the form. He said, give me a week, bro. I just need to clean up a few things. That was a year ago. So he never got the rights? Nope. I never signed off either. These are still mine. Jonah let out a low whistle. And the song? The master. The distribution code. Streaming payout. All tied to my backend. He grinned. Well damn. Looks like you own the throne he's dancing on. I stared at the file. I didn't even check until now. Why'd you? Spite. He laughed. Honest. My phone buzzed. Nina, he's lying to his label. I'll prove it. I texted back. Call me. Seconds later, she was on speaker. Talk, I said. She hesitated. You're not gonna like it. Try me. Kai said you gifted the masters. He told the label he built the track from scratch. Jonah mouthed liar beside me. I never signed that deal, I said. I own the session. The routing. Even the streaming ID. Nina exhaled. He's been doing this to other people too. Not just you. What do you mean? He took vocal loops from Dom, stole a guitar riff from Jaden's SoundCloud. Used my roommate's poem and tweaked the words. Jonah shook his head. Guy's a walking lawsuit. He buries people, Nina said. Gets them high on exposure, then ghosts them. I clenched my jaw. Why are you telling me this now? Because I should have told you sooner, she said. And because I think you can bury him back. I clicked on the contract again. You're right. Jonah leaned in. You thinking legal? No, I said. I'm thinking public. I emailed myself a fresh copy of the distribution rights. I dug out the original session timestamps. I loaded the untouched vocal tracks. Everything aligned. All of it pointed to one truth: I wasn't just some bitter ex with a broken heart. I was the silent ghost in his biggest hit, and I held the keys. Jonah looked over. So what's the play? Let him climb, I said. Let him perform. Let him thank me in his next speech. And then? I smiled. Then I'll remind the world who built the stage. Are you sure you want to do this? Jonah asked. I hovered over the button. Revoke license. Yes. He watched me. No turning back. I'm counting on that. I clicked it. The screen blinked once. Then twice. Done. Jonah leaned in. So that's it. That's it. What now? I turned the monitor toward him. Now we watch. An hour later, Twitter started screaming. At Altnoise blog, all Kai Rivers songs have vanished from Spotify and Apple Music. What's happening? At Flickbeats, copyright takedowns incoming? Damn, Jonah said, scrolling. They're freaking out. I refreshed the feed. One post caught my eye. Alyssa, funny how things break when they're not built right. Jonah raised an eyebrow. Is that shade or panic? Both. I played the clip of Kai's last live set. Nothing. Muted, I whispered. Jonah grinned. Poetic. The next day, my phone buzzed non-stop. Calls, DMs, emails. I didn't answer a single one. Then came the video. Kai, face blotchy, pacing on live. I don't know what's happening, he said, voice cracking. It's sabotage. Someone's messing with my files. I'm calling lawyers. I smirked. Jonah shook his head. This is better than cable. Wait, I said. Turn that up. Kai was still ranting. I'm not gonna let some jealous loser kill my momentum. I made those tracks. Me. Jonah looked at me. Do you think he believes that? He wants to. That afternoon, I got a call from a blocked number. I answered. Yeah? A nervous voice came through. Evan. Who's asking? Cam. I'm Kai's manager. Manager/firefighter? He chuckled awkwardly. Look, I know things got complicated. Cam, his top 3 tracks were taken down because he never finalized the license. That's not complicated. That's stupid. I didn't know he hadn't locked them. You didn't check. I assumed. Wrong job to assume. He sighed. Okay. You win. What do you want? I leaned back. Nothing. Nothing? Just enjoying the silence. He lowered his voice. Look, man. You want credit? Money? Name the terms. Cam, I said slowly. I own the terms. Pause. You're not wrong, he said. But maybe we can fix this. Too late. Come on, Evan. This affects a lot of people, team members, promoters, upcoming shows. That's not my problem. He hesitated. You really want him to burn? He lit the match. Cam's tone dropped. So that's it. For now. Should I tell him that? No. Let him sweat. That night, Nina messaged. Nina, he's freaking out. Blamed me for not warning him. You did. Nina, he's unraveling. Good. Nina, Alyssa's ghosted him. I stared at the screen. Nina, she deleted all their couple posts. Even the TikTok from the lake. I remembered the lake. He played the song off his phone. She kissed him mid-chorus. Gone, I said to myself. Jonah peeked in. You alright? Yeah. You sure? You're quiet. I'm just listening. To what? I turned up my speakers. Static. That. Knock knock. I didn't move. Knock knock. Louder this time. I opened the door halfway. Alyssa stood there. No eyeliner. No curled lashes. Just a hoodie and swollen eyes. Hey, she said, voice small. I leaned on the doorframe. Why are you here? I didn't know where else to go. Try Kai's. He blocked me. I raised an eyebrow. Interesting. I deserve that. Silence. She looked down. Can I come in? No. She flinched. Then can we just talk? About what? Everything. I crossed my arms. Say it. What? Say what you came here to say. Right here. She shifted on her feet. I messed up. That's vague. I used you. There it was. I wanted to feel important. He made me feel like someone. You made me feel safe. But I got greedy. Greedy? I thought I could have both. And now that he's spiraling, you want safe again? She winced. No. I want real again. I laughed once. Real? She stepped forward. I didn't love him. I told myself I did, but I didn't. He used me. He used your work. And you helped. I know. She sniffed. When the music went down, it was like everything fell apart. His fans turned on him. His label froze payments. He blamed everyone, me, you, even Nina. I'm shocked, I said flatly. She reached out. I'm not here to defend him. I'm here because I miss you. Too late. Evan. No, I said. You don't get to miss me now. You don't get to show up in ruins and ask for warmth from the guy you froze. Her hand dropped. You muted me, I said quietly. Long before I muted him. Tears welled in her eyes. Please don't do this. I'm not doing anything. I'm just finally not fixing anything. I know I hurt you. You replaced me. I hated myself after. Not enough to stop. She closed her eyes. Is there really no chance left? I shook my head. There's no version of us where I forget what I heard you say to him. Where I forget the live stream. Or the way you looked at me like I was backup. I didn't mean that. You did, I said. And that's what makes it honest. She wiped her cheek. Then why did I come here? I don't know. Maybe to feel better. Maybe to pretend saying sorry makes it go away. She stepped back. I thought maybe we could fix us. There is no us to fix. She nodded slowly, then turned. Alyssa, I said. She paused. I hope he hears silence for the rest of his career. But I hope you hear the last song I ever made, and realize it was about you. She bit her lip, holding the tears back. Then she walked away. I didn't close the door until she was gone. Why do I still hear you in every room? I whispered. The silence didn't answer, but her laughter did, in memory. The kitchen still smelled like cinnamon. The rug by the sink still curled at the corner, the one she used to trip over and laugh like it was the floor's fault. I leaned against the fridge. You did this, I muttered. But I stayed. I walked into the hallway. The bathroom light still flickered. She always said it felt like a horror movie. We used to brush teeth in sync. Stupid. But real. The bedroom door creaked when I opened it. Even that sound felt like her. I stood at the closet. Paused. Then opened it. Behind some boxes, I found the old camcorder. Dusty. Undisturbed. I sat on the floor and turned it on. It blinked alive like a time capsule. Click. Alyssa dancing in the kitchen. Stop filming me, she giggled. Never, my voice behind the lens replied. Click. Her head on my chest. You're the one holding all the keys, she whispered. I paused. Rewound. Played it again. You're the one holding all the keys. I stared at her frozen face on the screen. You had no idea how right you were, I whispered. I let the clip run. If I ever mess up, she said, laughing, just use that key and lock me out. I wouldn't do that, I said behind the camera. Then you're softer than you look. I turned the camcorder off. And just sat there, breathing. Nothing in me knew if I missed her, or just missed how it used to feel before it all fell apart. The truth? I think I missed the version of her that only existed in that lens. The version that hadn't called me back up. The version that hadn't handed my music to someone else. Jonah knocked on the door. Evie? I didn't answer. You alive? Barely. He stepped in, saw the camcorder. Oh man. That thing still works. Unfortunately. Don't do this to yourself. She said I held all the keys. Jonah tilted his head. Well, you did. Yeah, I said. And I never knew when to lock the damn door. Did you see this? Jonah barged in holding his phone. Another blog post? He grinned. Better. Kai just leaked Alyssa's texts. I blinked. Seriously? Screenshots. Caption said, proof I was manipulated. I leaned forward. What texts? Ones where she called you safe and him stupid but sexy. I laughed without meaning to. Wow. Wait, it gets better. Alyssa responded. How? She dropped voice notes. Recordings of him saying your track was never his. I raised an eyebrow. The originals. Full confession. I grabbed his phone, scrolling through the thread. She nuked him. She buried him. What are the comments like? Split. Some defending her. Some roasting both. I handed the phone back. So they're imploding. Without your help. That's the best part. He nodded. Tour's cancelled, by the way. Already? Label dropped him this morning. I looked out the window. And to think, I used to want to punch him. You still can. Emotionally. My phone buzzed. Nina, you got what you wanted. Is it enough? I stared at it. You okay? Jonah asked. Yeah, I muttered. Just tired. He sat down. You gonna reply? No. Why not? Because I don't know the answer. That night, I got a call from an unknown number. Hello? Evan. Who's this? Talia Morgan. I'm with Haven Label Group. I sat up. Okay. I've been following the fallout around Kai Rivers. Most people are. Well, I heard some files resurfaced, original stems, proof of authorship, voice matches. And they pointed to you. My voice stayed calm. They always did. She paused. I'm not calling to interrogate. I'm calling with an offer. What kind? Production. Full credit. Retroactive and forward. You'd own the track officially, and we'd want you to come work with us. I narrowed my eyes. Why now? Because you didn't chase clout. You let the truth speak. That sells better than drama. I almost smiled. So you want me to clean the mess? I want you to build on the ruins. And Alyssa? She's not part of the deal. And Kai? Dead weight. I leaned back. Send the terms. You're interested. I didn't say yes. But you didn't say no. I hung up. Jonah looked up from the couch. Who was that? Label exec. Talia. She wants to work with me. His eyes lit up. Holy, wait, for real? Yeah. He stood. Bro, that's huge. I nodded slowly. I know. You gonna say yes? I don't know. Why not? Because I didn't do any of this to get signed. Maybe not. But maybe this is what happens when you stop chasing people and start backing yourself. I looked down at my phone again. Nina's message still glowed. Is it enough? I didn't reply. I just let the screen fade to black. You really packed light, Jonah said, helping me load the last bag into the trunk. Didn't want to bring the past. He gave me a look. Even the camcorder? I smiled. Especially the camcorder. We shut the trunk. You sure about this? He asked. Yeah. For once, I am. Talia met me at the airport. She wore all black, sunglasses indoors. You look like a Bond villain, I said. Good. Villains get funding. She led me to a town car. Studios prepped. Your booth's separate. Full access. No politics. I didn't think labels worked like that. They don't, she said. But I'm tired of pretending talent can't come from heartbreak. We arrived at the building, glass, chrome, clean lines. Nothing like my garage. Ready? She asked. Let's see. The studio smelled like new speakers and hope. Inside, a girl sat at the mic, voice trembling. I watched through the glass. She's good, I said. She's scared, Talia replied. Can you fix that? I walked in, nodded at her. Hey, I said. I'm Evan. She wiped her eyes. I'm not used to people watching. Then pretend I'm not here. Just sing it like no one broke your heart. She smiled. Someone did. Perfect. Use it. Later that night, I sat alone at the board, replaying the last take. Clean. Pure. Raw. Talia stepped in. She's never sounded like that. Sometimes pain tunes people better than pitch. You sure you've never done this before? I looked up. I've just been quiet long enough to hear things others talk over. I started sleeping again. Long, deep, dreamless nights. No calls. No regrets. Jonah texted me memes. Nina sent me playlists. Even Cam reached out once, apologizing. I didn't answer. Some doors don't need slamming. Just closing. One night, I walked the city alone. A girl passed me humming a melody. I stopped. It was mine. Something I'd made for fun. She didn't know who I was. Didn't need to. That was the moment I knew I didn't need closure. I'd become it. All right, Evan, the host smiled, tapping her mic, let's get to the part everyone's been deeming me about. I already knew. She leaned in. Kai Rivers. The tracks. The takedown. You were the silent shadow, right? I chuckled. That's one name for it. She laughed. You've never spoken publicly. Why now? Because I'm not mad anymore. She raised an eyebrow. You were. Once. Yeah. What changed? I looked around the studio, polished mics, clean soundproofing, real calm. I stopped chasing noise. She nodded slowly. So, tell me. What really happened? I took a breath. I made music. He took it. She gave him access. And then they blamed each other. Simple as that? No. It was messier. But pain's only poetic in hindsight. She smiled. You sound like a lyricist. Funny, I used to be. She flipped her notes. Do you regret pulling the songs? No. Not even the fan backlash. They weren't my fans. Do you think you ended his career? I looked at her. I didn't end it. Truth did. She paused, then leaned in. Would you ever restore the tracks? I met her eyes. You don't bring back ghosts. She blinked. Excuse me? You learn to live without their noise. The room went quiet. She finally said, that's powerful. It's peace. Do the ghosts still visit? I smiled. Only in melodies. She sat back. And Alyssa? What about her? Do you forgive her? I forgive myself. Not her? I shrugged. Forgiveness isn't always reunion. She tilted her head. Do you think she listens to your new work? I hope she does, I said. But I make it for me now. The host tapped her pen against the table. You know, most people come here bitter. I was. Not anymore? No. She grinned. So what would you say to the Evan from 2 years ago? Stop waiting for apologies, I said. Start making art from silence. She nodded. Last question. Fame or peace? Silence. Are you nervous? Jonah asked as I adjusted the mic. I nodded. Terrified. He grinned. Good. Means you still care. Talia peeked through the curtain. They're ready when you are. Thanks. She touched my shoulder. Whatever happens out there, you already won. I exhaled. Let's find out. The lights dimmed. The crowd quieted. I stepped onto the stage. 1 mic. 1 stool. 1 guitar? No band. No backup. Just me. I sat down and let my fingers find the first chord. The strings trembled. So did I. Then I opened my mouth. No auto-tune. No polish. Just one line. You taught me silence, now hear me. I sang it once. Twice. Each time a little louder. A little rawer. You taught me silence, now hear me. No verses. No chorus. Just that. The room was so quiet you could hear my breath catch between syllables. I closed my eyes and let it break. The line repeated. Again. And again. Until it didn't feel like a lyric anymore. It felt like truth. When I opened my eyes, half the room had this closed. Some wiped tears. And I knew. This wasn't about her. Not anymore. Backstage, Jonah clapped me on the back. That was insane. I wiped sweat from my face. Was it good? It was honest. Talia walked up with her phone. Your clip's already on TikTok. Trending. Of course it is. No hashtags, she said. No backstory. Just your voice. I smiled. That's all I wanted. Later that night, I checked my phone. Hundreds of messages. One stood out. Alyssa, I heard it. I'm sorry. I locked the screen. Didn't reply. Didn't need to. The next day, Nina texted. Nina, tonight? You're coming? Nina, front row. I sent a heart. That evening, I walked onto a smaller stage. Same mic, same stool. New faces. Same nerves. Halfway through the second song, I saw her. Nina. Smiling. No camera. No phone. Just her. Present. After the last note faded, I looked at her again. She didn't wave. She just nodded, soft, quiet. Like she understood this wasn't a concert. It was closure. Good set, she said afterward, walking up slowly. Thanks. You look lighter. I feel it. She held out a small notebook. I wrote some lyrics. Don't laugh. I opened it. Read a few lines. These are good. You mean it? Yeah. Maybe we can work on them. She smiled. I'd like that. We stood in silence. Then she said, do you still think about her? Sometimes. And? It doesn't hurt. Nina nodded. Then you're free. I think I am. We didn't hug. We didn't linger. We just stood there, two people who'd survived something we never named. And then I left. Not broken. Not bitter. Just full. Full of music. Full of peace. And finally, full of me.